have purpose behind the mission of what you're doing in your business, right? And being willing to put profits, so to speak, on the back burner and putting people first, right? Understanding that when you do that, when you help enough people get what they want, right? Like you get everything that you want. Because we know in business, marketing can be a big expense, right? You know what I mean? To your business. And the best, marketing that a business can have is a referral, right? I mean, it is like the easiest person to deal with, which is so incredible, man. So, well, that is so awesome. All right, everybody. Well, welcome back to another episode of the Champion Life podcast. I'm your host, Curt Tucker. Today, guys, I believe is going to be an incredible episode. I'm super excited to really spend some time today and share with you, someone who has been an inspiration to me for such a long time, someone that I've had the pleasure to champion over the years and really just see this young man go from just, brokenness in certain areas to now just having absolute breakthroughs like crazy. This guy is a husband, a father of, get this, 5 kids. 5 kids, an entrepreneur, real estate investor, all kinds of awesome things going on. So I want to please welcome to the show my good friend, Dustin Bower. Dustin, how you doing today, brother?
What's up, man? I appreciate you bringing me on. And as we go through this, hopefully we can impact somebody's life. And I just caught a little glimpse of a little guy in between 2 guys up on that shelf. I think that's me.
That is you. That is you, brother. Well, man, I'm so excited to dig in today. I know when I reached out to you yesterday, I was really sitting here thinking about this episode today, talking about breakthrough. Who is somebody that I can have share, with the audience, that I believe has had such incredible breakthrough in their life, where there was so many odds that could have been stacked up against you, but you didn't let those odds defy you. You didn't let the past define your future. And you literally have just created an incredible champion life, brother. So, real quick, I want to get right into it, man, because when I think about, you, one of the things that I think about is just somebody who is so determined, who is so faith-filled that you define courage, man. You define somebody that just feels the fear and do it anyway, does it anyway. I was just watching a video of you literally yesterday that my wife reshared of you doing, the Facebook ad at one of the gyms that you owned, right? And you're doing that backflip, and I'm just like, holy cow. And one of the first trips that we ever went on down in Florida, when you did, I'm just like, this dude is just fearless. So let me ask you a question, man. Like, when you think of the word faith, how has your faith, been such a huge part of getting you where you're at today, doing all the things that you're doing, brother? Like, share that with us.
Yeah. So faith, I go back with my faith probably since I've been 15 on and off. I was, not doing right things for lots of them years, but 15's where I really, met Jesus. And I was going to a Pentecostal church at that time. And it was, they do things differently. It's, I'm not against it whatsoever. Just not my type of thing these days, but again, nothing against it. I really felt him, man. And since that day, I've always prayed, no matter if I was a, drinker, if I was doing drugs or whatever I was doing, I was always praying. Even if I would, be at the bar, like depressed about something, I'd be praying at the bar. He can go anywhere with you. So in today's life, I would say, no matter what I'm going through, my upbringing, I always have faith. If me and my wife are having disagreements, which isn't much, the kids, one of my oldest daughters, I had to have a lot of faith a couple of years ago in her. And actually, your wife told me something she told one of your kids, just all you can do is pray and trust in God. They say, if you're going to worry, don't pray. If you're going to pray, don't worry. And since that day, I constantly prayed for that one in general. And, here, let's fast forward about 3 years later, man. And she lives with me, getting a bunch of different SEALs for graduation, volunteering for some of the mentally challenged kids, straight A student. Just it worked.
Man. That's awesome. You mentioned 15, Dustin. And so, I know a little bit about your story, but I want you to share, real quick, because your upbringing wasn't always the easiest, right? We come from a lot of the similar background. And so, I know for you, that background before, really that, faith was mixed with a lot of family issues, right? And a lot of drugs and a lot of crime and a lot of those different things that, for you, when you think back of that season of your life, like what's one lesson from that season of your life that you learned that you think you still apply that to your life today?
Yeah. So when I was 15, I had an aha moment, I guess. Unconsciously then, now looking back at some of the things I went through in my life as I'm going through personal development, I can see those things now, but I didn't see them then. So when I was 15, we got evicted, and the only place we was going to have to go was a homeless shelter right uptown called the Haven House. And again, unconsciously, I said to myself, if I do that, I'm not living there. For one, it was a pride thing. For two, if I go down that road, I'll continue down that road. I guarantee it. So what I did was when I was 15, I had a girl get me a little apartment. And I stayed in that, man.
So at 15 years old, you're living essentially on your own.
Yeah. Yep. And haven't been back home since. So I'm 33 now. So almost 20 years ago.
Wow. That is incredible. So you make this
There's
decision.
nowhere to go back to. A lot of people have nowhere to go back to. I didn't have to go back to. I think they lived there for about 6 months, and then they found another place. But I wasn't doing it.
Man, that is absolutely crazy. So, early on, man, you've got some humble beginnings, right? 15, you're living on your own, we begin to start, moving into life. And, I know, if we fast forward a little bit, Dustin, probably about what, 5-6 years ago, you probably know the exact date a little bit better than I. We were introduced through mutual friends, through, a business, and we have the opportunity to come together and meet at a Panera. And, I think, one of the things that I think about is when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. And, as I think about you as a young man and now to where you're at as, an entrepreneur and all the different things you have going on, I think back to that day and just recalling seeing somebody who was hungry, who really truly wanted a different life, right? A champion life, right? One of abundance and freedom and victory. So, real quick, what would be one piece of advice, for you if maybe somebody's listening to this podcast and it's just like, man, they're hungry for more, but they're hanging on with just a thread of hope, maybe like how you were, because, and maybe even take us back to that time in your life, like where were you, at that time when we met? Because I think that's such a critical point, to, what we're talking about today.
Yeah. So I was living in one of my friend's basements, just went through a breakup, and that's the only place I had to go. Because again, wasn't going back home. Couldn't go back home. My mom lives in a small apartment now, so there's nowhere for me to go there. But a really good friend of mine, I stayed in his basement, and no bathroom or anything up there. We built a little outhouse outside for me to take a leak in, but had to go upstairs to do other things. So when I met you, man, I was hungry. We had this product that we had, and all I knew is I had to get it in somebody's hands so I could help my buddy pay his rent, because he wasn't in the best situation either financially. And I had to have somewhere to live. $300 a month. Then I had it back then. I had to sell so many containers of the stuff, legal stuff, nutrition company that we was involved in. I had to get rid of, I think it was probably 30 for that net profit of the 300. So, I soon 3-foot rule. I got in 3 foot within somebody. I was talking to them about it, telling them they had to do it, sampling them, giving them free so they get hooked. You know how you do it. Yep. And then after I got into that, I got around some other people as yourself and some other entrepreneurs. When I was younger, mom always says, money don't grow from the tree. People that have money, they've done bad things to get it, blah, blah, blah. And when I got around that group of people, it changed my whole perspective of money, on what money can do for people, and how marriages should work. And yeah, man, it's just been uphill from there. With I know you hate me saying it, but you have changed my life, impacted my life, pushed me towards it, kept me accountable, put me in my place. I remember this one time you was like, hey, I said I was committed about something, and you're like, no, you're not. Stop lying to yourself. One of the most powerful words I'd hear at that time. So yeah, man.
And when I think of a coach, Dustin, as I say, and my guests will hear me say a lot, friends, is, I think of a coach as somebody who's going to love you, but they're going to tell you not what you want to hear sometimes, but they're going to tell you what you need to hear. And, anytime I can think back as an athlete, some of the best coaches that I ever had were the ones that, they just saw the talent, they saw the potential, and they were willing to push me. And that's what I always saw in you, as somebody who was so hungry to learn and to grow, somebody who was so committed to personal development. And so, one of the things I do actually want to touch on that real quick, Dustin, is, over the years, to go from where you were, to where you are today, how important, has personal development, been to you? Because I know you're an avid reader. I know you are always, doing certain things, investing in coaches and courses and, and all kinds of things. Like, how important has personal development been to you in, getting from where you were to, where you are today?
Yeah, well, I think another thing one of your listeners will hear a lot is one of the best investments you can make is in yourself. And I'm sure you'll say that a lot on here because it's true. I think I read one of my first books. I remember putting the date in. I was upstairs of that basement, actually reading through this window he had some good light. And I read that it was the 12-week year. And it was the first book I ever read front to back. And I know that if you do not invest in yourself, you will not go any further. Your income will never exceed your personal development either. Again, it's something you'll say, and you've coached me for years now, and your principles are right, man. I do vision boards every year now. My wife does them as well. She was kind of down on herself the other day because she didn't hit a few, and I'm like, honey, I didn't hit you. Like you hit like more than I did. But I've been making them since 2016. I looked back on them after she got a little disappointed, and it was an Escalade thing for me in 17. It was on my 17th board. It was on my 18th. I got it in 19. So I just kept putting it on there. Books. I can't stand reading. I love learning though. Over the years, I've been telling myself that, and now my daughter's an advocate reader. She's read 9 books since she's lived with me, which is something that I told her. I said, listen, I don't like reading either, but what are you learning in there? You love to learn. I know you got straight A's. She's like super smart. So she's been reading, man. So I think that was an example. And then Gary Chapman, The Five Love Languages. I think you gave me that book. Just recently got back to reading it. My wife has read it, and the things in there are just they're awesome and they're real too, man. Just apply the things that you see, like yourself in your marriage or your business. Like at that time, it was a certain level that you was at. I'm like, man, I want to get to that level. Well, what do you got to do to get to that level? You got to do the things he's doing. Success leaves clues, man. So personal development is a must if you want to grow as a leader, a husband, a father, business, anything. You have to put money in yourself, and you can't pour from an empty glass. Another thing that Rachel, your wife, has taught me and her's a lot like you guys. So you'll hear me mention her a lot. We're fire aim ready, if you guys know what that means. But, when you get on a plane, they say secure yourself first and then take care of your infant. And I've applied that. At first, I think it was super selfish. Especially having a newborn now, it really hits me. Like my wife stays here, she's getting up with the baby, and it really, if I didn't do that, things would be a lot worse though. So personal development in all areas of your life are a must for growth.
And one of the things that I heard you said, was, the importance I know for you to be a great husband and a great father. And it made me think about, the quote that some things are better, caught than taught, right? It's because of your example that you have given as a leader, as a husband, as a father to your kids, to your daughter, that instead of saying, hey, listen, you should read these books, you should do this, you should do that, instead you just lead by example, by reading. And because she's seen that example, now she is beginning to implement those things, reading books on, I'm sure, all different things about life, right? And now look at the impact that it's had on her life, as you just mentioned, being, looking at, graduating, being accepted to college, A's in school, like all those different things, because you set the example, right? Like you drew the line in the sand for your family to say, hey, we're going to do things different, like how we operate as a Bower. I have what we call Team Tucker here, right? So it's like, hey, we operate differently. So that example that, man, like, hey, it's better, caught than taught. That's so powerful, man. So let's talk about, we've kind of covered a little bit of your faith, man. And, then obviously, some family stuff there, Dustin, man, you have really impressed me over especially the last couple years as an entrepreneur, right? I can remember at first it was like, I want to make this much money. And then it became, hey, I want to start some gyms. So you did that, then, you were having some massive success in the roofing business and sales. And I remember having that conversation where you were like, hey man, like, I just really feel like I can do this, man. Like I can start a roofing business. And what did I say? Well, then do it. Let's do it. I always say, let's do it when people come to me with business ideas, because I just feel like I'm a part of it, right? Like, even though it's not my business, like I love to see people win. And so for you, think about this for a second is, when you look at your success in business that you've had as an entrepreneur, let's talk real quick about, dude, you've got 5 kids. You've got a newborn, like what are some of the things that you're doing that are some habits, some rituals that you apply in your life that allow you to have success in your marriage as a dad, thriving as a business? What are a couple things that you're doing? I know you're big on your morning routine, right? So talk a little bit about a couple different things that you feel like are definitely giving you an advantage to help you have success in every area.
I'd say one of the biggest things is just being super optimistic and positive, even when, it's like Tony Robbins says, man, there's weeds, you just got to pick them right. It's not always green, but being positive. One of our one of our daughters wasn't the most positive person, and she just wasn't. Not that it was good or bad, but um, here recently, I saw her transform, and she's not uppery chippery and everything like me yet, but you can definitely see the transformation happening.
Mm.
I can't. I don't want to say I can't stand. I don't like people that want instant gratification. Like, hey, like you said, caught not top, or top not caught. People try to tell their kids what to do, and they're doing things that don't align with that, so it doesn't make sense. So even like taking her to the bus stop. When I take her to the bus stop, I always say, hey, I'm going to pray for correction, direction and correction in your life. Simple. I don't even put my hand on her yet, just a little bit, making sure I tell her have a good day. And I could see it. I'm getting chills right now. I mean, I could see it impacting her life and our family, because no one wants to be around a bunch of negative energy. Mm-hmm. So definitely being positive, man, being an example, getting up and doing things like my morning routine helps me a lot. If I have to take her to the bus stop, I go to the gym directly after. I had a guy ask me today in the sauna, he says, you have 5 kids and you still go to the gym? I said, yeah, I got 5 kids, a roofing business and a real estate business. He said, dude, what? We just got to make time. So I think my daily routine, so I get up, kiss my wife, kiss my baby, because she's in our room now. I look at the devotion on my phone, because I really like reading the Bible, but I feel if I start that, my time goes back and I don't make it to the gym and stuff starts. So for me, I hit the Bible app to get a little bit of faith going in my life. I'll look at that. I'll usually read the whole paragraph, though. It'll give you the option. And then make me a pre-workout, hit the gym. So I go to the gym, like the gym part. I'll hit the sauna, get real hot for 15 minutes, jump into the pool, which is 15 feet away, to shock my body and get them endorphins loosened up. And then I'll jump in the hot tub. Then I'll go jump in a cold shower. Like you would think that's a lot of stuff, but I literally do that in an hour and a half, because I'm off my phone. I'm going like this, and I'm just doing it. Like I've just started swimming. The guy, I swam underwater just to see if I get to the other side underwater. He's like, dude, you're fast. And I'm like, cool. Yeah, I'm at 17 seconds. So let me get 15 next week. I'm always trying to do something that I know will help me, my health and my brain health. So then I'll come home. Sometimes I'll read the Bible. I lost it again. The Bible you gave me, just found it again at church. It goes MIA sometimes, which is a bad thing, but we're human. That's why we got that Bible on our phone. Make sure all the kids are fed and taken to school. And then I start my day for business. So I usually start around 9:00, and I get my guys going. We're doing a remodeling project right now. My roofing guys, get them the materials, make sure the job site's good, make sure the guys get what they need. And then I go into real estate. I just bought another 4 unit. So there was roofing and gutters getting on there. There's siding. There's a copper pipe that I found out that could blow up the whole entire place if it wasn't replaced. Like I want people to buy real estate and do it because of the passive income, but there's stuff that, everybody wants to tell about their successes. I want to tell you, there's stuff that happens in there. It scared the crap out of me, just doing a big investment, and then they scared the crap out of me. So I had it taken care of immediately.
Well, and I think, just to touch on that, Dustin, because one of the things that you'll see is right, fear stops people from taking action, right? Like, and you said just a little bit ago, fire, ready, aim, right? Like what does that mean? Fire, ready, aim. That means like, hey, listen, we don't have it all figured out, right? Like you're going to do your due diligence on a deal, right? You're going to try to make the best decision. You're going to pray through things. You're going to ask for wisdom, but that doesn't always mean that everything is going to be perfect, right? Like, actually, problems are opportunities to grow, right? You can't build muscle without resistance in the
Right.
gym. And I've saw you literally take this real estate thing head on, having to learn new skills, having to, literally get mentors, get coaches, right? All these different things, which is just absolutely incredible, for you. Let me ask this question, why for you, when it comes to, the things that you're doing, in your business, how important is the customer to you? Because I think that you do one of the best jobs when it comes to integrity of how you treat your business, your people, your employees, your clients that work with you. So like, from an integrity standpoint, if I'm a business owner and I'm wanting my business to grow and maybe I'm not seeing it grow in certain areas, what is it about you, your approach to, building your business and integrity that, how do you approach that, in your business, that word integrity?
Yeah, well, the name of my company is Reputable Roofing and Remodeling. And one of the reasons I did that was when I look at this hoodie or the shirt or the trucks or a yard sign, I want it to be reputable. I want that person to say, hey, this is a reputable company. It's called Reputable. So I made that reputable for a constant reminder that I have to take care of these customers. I don't like to say it, but every single customer that we do a roof for, almost every single, it's hard to say that I don't know for a fact, but almost every single customer, to answer your question, you got to give more. I think you'll never go broke giving ever. So what I mean by that is one of the tiny, tiny, tiny little things that we do. I actually got one sent back. It was pretty funny, but everyone that I do a roof for gets a Bible with their name engraved on it. Okay.
Wow.
Small investment, $15. Okay. We've done close to 300 roofs. So you can add, I don't even know what that number is. Don't even care. It's part of the program that we give them. Okay. They don't know. It's usually anonymous, but we did get one sent back to us. And he said, I don't believe in that. Okay, buddy. Throw it away. I'm going to do my due diligence. And one of the things going out on my own, I was like, I'm going to make sure that they have the best shingle. They have the best system. I go above and beyond every single company, and I'm lower because I would rather get more customers and make less profit so my name gets out there to more people. So it's a constant flow. Some of these guys make $9,000, $10,000 on a decent sized roof. I mean, a 65% profit margin. That's cool. I mean, that's part of the roofing industry. One of the reasons I got into the roofing industry is I can sell one roof and make X amount of dollars, or I can sell 1,000 retail things and make that same amount of money. It's less time that I have to spend in my business. More time I can spend with my family was one of them things. And integrity, when my guys go out there, I mean, it's a show up. We spend an hour and a half with the customers before they purchase a roof, because at the end of the day, it's an investment. If your financial advisor says, hey, man, give me $15,000, well, we'll go with $9,800 because that's the average roof. Give me $9,800. I got a great plan for it. Are you going to have some questions? You're going to want to know what index fund, what, Fortune 500. You're going to have some questions. So one of the things is we explain to them, this is what this is. When we leave an appointment, they know more than most roofers in my area know about roofs. And that's not to knock them, but that's where part of the integrity, I need them to know that I was taken care of. And if I have a problem, he's coming back out.
Man,
take care of people.
That is incredible. Just absolutely incredible. The fact that you will take that extra time, to do that, have purpose behind the mission of what you're doing in your business, right? And being willing to put profits, so to speak, on the back burner and putting people first, right? Understanding that when you do that, when you help enough people get what they want, right? Like you get everything that you want. Because we know in business, marketing can be a big expense, right? You know what I mean? To your business. And the best, marketing that a business can have is a referral, right? I mean, it is like the easiest person to deal with, which is so incredible, man. So, well, that is so awesome. Well, hey, listen, man, this has been incredible, Dustin. Like, we've talked about faith, man. We've talked about your fitness. We've talked about family. We've talked about finances. I know you are one of the most generous people that I know. I know you're committed to tithing. I know you're committed to obviously sending out, Bibles to your clients, which is absolutely incredible. So, dude, you're living the champion life, man, which is, just so impressed, so proud. So I've got one last question for you today, man, as we wrap up, is for you, what does the champion life mean to you and everything that you have going on as a husband, as a father, as a leader, as a business person? When you think about the champion life, when you think about the example that you're making of who you've become, but now the example that you're setting for other people, because I know you're championing other people as well, man. Like, you are carrying it on, you are paying it forward, but when you think about the champion life, brother, like, what does that mean to you?
I think it reverts back to, the 5 F's. There's no balance. I know people talk about balance all the time. It's, make your schedule the day before and look at it and go for it. Sometimes, again, I feel super selfish that, I'm I'm working, or I'm at the gym, or I'm doing these things, and my wife's at home, but I have to, I think that's the devil sometimes too, but I got to flip my focus and say, well, if I can't do this, my wife don't have the ability to work at home. My wife don't have the ability to do whatever she wants to do. If she wants to go, like today, we're having she's having a me day, which is awesome. Nails done, toes done. We're going to do the Thai float loft. Before, I would think about, oh man, what's that going to cost? She's like, hey, I'm doing this, 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 and this. I said, hey, you want to add this? And didn't think about, the cost of it. Well, we know it's an investment because we got to take care of our body. It's the only place we have to live, right?
Yes.
And from her, she's been in the house a lot, and she needs a me day. We all need them. We have to take care of ourselves. I know you do that with you and your family. I think you're getting away this weekend, actually. Them things are a must. And then faith. You have to have faith no matter, I'm coaching a guy right now, and he's almost 0. He thinks he has faith. I shouldn't say 0, but he's just like, well, this is going to happen. This is going to happen. I said, dude, you're the most pessimistic. And you have way more grace than I do. I'm like your wife. I just crush people, like, with honesty, integrity, because I know if they don't get it, they will not go the next level sometimes.
Yep.
And I do it from love. And somehow I've cultivated my personality, my love, whatever. I can do it because they know I love them. Whatever I've done in there, like, I'm not going to preach you, waste my breath on you. Literally 86,400 seconds. I'm not going to waste anything on you if I don't love and care about you. And somehow, I don't tell them that, they know it, but somehow I can hit them with the real stuff and they're okay with it.
That's awesome. That's awesome, man. And I think it comes from a place of love, like you said, that people know your heart. They know that you're sincere. They know that you're a man of character and integrity, and that is shining in every single thing that you do. So,
I'm not judgmental. Like, I'm not judgmental at all. Like, if you want to go, smoke weed or smoke crack or do that, I'm going to be like, look, most of them's grown. I don't need to preach to you. That's bad. Look what you're doing to your family, though. You're selfish as heck. Yes. Because you're not taking care of your family like you should, dude. Just that tiny little thing right there. Like, I hit them with the truth. I don't have to hit them on, hey, you don't need to be a dope fiend. That hurts people.
Yeah. And there's a thing where, when you lead with love, when you lead with encouragement, but you lead with truth, that's how you empower people, right? Which is so powerful. One of our good friends says it best, and you mentioned this today is, hey, if you want to impress people, tell them about your successes. But if you want to empower them, tell them about your messes, be real with them, share your faults. And hey, man, that happens. So, well, dude, listen, man, I want to encourage you all, if you're listening to this, to check out, Dustin Bower on social media. Check out Reputable Roofing and Remodeling. It's an incredible business. If you're in the Ohio area, man, you're doing some incredible things, brother. I want to encourage you to keep crushing it, keep being the champion that God created you to be, man. It's been so awesome to spend some time with you today, dude.
Yeah, I think you had something happen yesterday too, man. I know you're humble about it, man. I think you had a book release, guys. I've read this. I had I read it, and I don't know. It's a simple read, but Curt really breaks it down to what he's taught me. So I'm reading, and I'm like a slow reader. I have to read pages, but I'm like zoom, 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 because I could just hear and picture Curt saying it. I breezed through the book, man. It's like a record-breaking book for me. But I will say, guys, I've read over 20 books, and it's one of the most cultivating ones in that type of field, because how he breaks the things down. Success just keeps going and going and going. It's just got clues from everybody. So a lot of people that he's heard from, he's put his mix on it. And that's all these people do. Zig Ziglar, Tony Robbins, all these other guys, they put their little twist on it. And if Curt's put a twist on it, that's going to really impact your life. And I guarantee it will. And yeah, man, I appreciate you having me on. Hopefully we can impact some people
and do it again, and we're gonna do it again sometime, man, in another 6 months or so. Well, hey guys, thank you so much for tuning in to today's episode. Dustin for joining. Hey, listen, as always, guys, go check us out. You can grab that book on Amazon or on my site at curtdtucker.com. Shoot me a message with a takeaway today, friends, something that's impacted you, and we will see you on the next episode. God bless.
Let's go.